Yo, what up? It's your boy JJ Stone, aka OhDoctah. It's Monday, the day before February, I guess. I don't know which actual day it is. I don't check the days. Actually, it's the day before the day of February.
2 days.
2 days before the day of February. Say what's up to people, Jason.
What's going on, everybody? Shrimp Bayless is in the building.
Shrimp Bayless is in the building. It's episode 8.
Really only 2 with me here. It's the important 2.
Yeah. It's going to happen. So this is episode 8. Subscribe on YouTube. It's gonna be on iTunes soon. Come check us out, hang out, live the dream, and we'll be waiting for you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we'll try and remember that not everyone can see the screen and the videos, and actually explain what we're talking about next time.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
We'll try.
Tom Brady's not the best quarterback in the world.
Do you know somebody else who is?
Joe Montana. Who's better than him?
Who's better than Montana?
Who's better than Brady?
Nobody's better than Brady.
Yes. Everybody's better than Brady.
No. Nobody's better. Statistically, he's better. He's been to more Super Bowls.
What? More Super Bowls. What is Michael Jordan? Why is Michael Jordan considered the greatest basketball player?
Because he won championships?
No, that's not why. The real general answer of why
Nikes?
No. As far as championship goes, because he won 6.
Mm-hmm.
All 6. He went 6 for 6.
Right.
First off. That's why, because if that was the case, there's other people that have been in the finals more than him.
Right. I mean, Bill Russell won 11. So.
Where's Bill Russell at? If that was the case, it's because, one, the era he's in, but the fact that he went 6 for 6. He never lost. So Montana never lost.
Wait, so it's better to lose in the NFC Championship games, you're saying?
It's better to win every time you get there. 100%.
No, it's better to make it and still win the same amount as Montana. He's won 4, just like Montana has as well.
So how does that make him better than Montana by losing?
He's gone 6 times. That means Montana couldn't get there 2 other times, and Brady has done that. Montana couldn't get to the promised land 2 extra times.
So I guess LeBron James is going to be better than Jordan because he's going to go to the finals like 12 years in a row.
No, but when you compare stats, it doesn't match up either. Brady's got better stats than Montana and never played with the greatest receiver of all time.
Joe Montana.
Brady's thrown for 1,000 more yards, 100 more touchdowns, only 4 more interceptions.
He also plays in an era where you're allowed to just throw the ball willy-nilly and you can't touch the quarterback.
But Montana also played in an era when that West Coast offense was brand new and nobody knew how to stop it, and he took advantage of it.
Okay, he's not the greatest. This list, though, he's not. He's just not. This list drives me crazy. The only reason I can say Peyton Manning, maybe at 3, is because he won with 2 different teams.
Right. Well, I think he's the greatest regular season quarterback ever, possibly.
Oh, ever. That's undoubtedly.
I think that's why he gets bumped up that high. Plus, ESPN always rides on him.
We talked about Unitas, and I'll let Unitas go, and I'll let Otto Graham go, just because they revolutionized the quarterback position. And when you watch film of them, again, they're also playing in a league where they're playing against other guys that didn't even know what they were doing.
Exactly.
Some of these guys were getting picked up off the street. It was a new sport. So, they shouldn't be in the top 10 as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I'm so biased against older guys like that. I don't know why. I feel like the leagues are so much better now. They're more complex. The athletes are better.
I'm biased against anybody pre-1960.
Okay.
After 1960, some of the rules started coming into play. The league started coming together. Teams started formulating. They had a union. They had some legitimate stuff going on. But pre that, it was like, hey, let's pick up a fast guy off the street and just have him run the ball. And that was it. Brett Favre should, I guess if we took the old guys out, Brett Favre should not be number 7.
You think he should be lower or higher?
Lower. No. Higher.
Okay.
He should be like 12 or 14.
Well, that's lower to me. Okay. You think he shouldn't be in the top 10?
He should not be in the top 10.
So I know then who would you put in the top 10? Besides, we have Favre, Marino, Bradshaw, and Rodgers rounds out the top 10. Who would you replace Favre with?
Bradshaw, Steve Young, Jim Kelly, all above him.
Okay. See, I think Bradshaw doesn't deserve to be in the top 10.
See, look, because it's still Curtin, right?
Right. Well, Bradshaw, 212 touchdowns, 210 interceptions for his career. Like, that's not elite. He played with one of the greatest defenses ever, some of the greatest running backs, and had 2 Hall of Fame receivers, and still couldn't put up monster stats.
How do you get 2 Hall of Fame receivers from a quarterback that apparently can't play the game? He had to be doing something right to have 2 Hall of Fame receivers that were catching the ball for him.
They were the best team in the league back then. I know. I'm just saying, 212 touchdowns, 210 interceptions. That's not elite.
He won 4 Super Bowls.
I know.
And yes, you talk about defense, but he wasn't like the 2000 Ravens.
Well, I'm not saying he's a chump or anything. I just don't think he deserves to be in the top 10. I put him in the top 15.
4
maybe.
Super Bowls. Like Jim Kelly gets no respect. Now he lost 4 Super Bowls. Brett Favre. The only reason Brett Favre has a Super Bowl ring is because of Reggie White
and Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard. But Reggie White basically made up for the whole I'm gonna fling it and possibly throw interceptions every other quarter. Somebody please God help me.
Yeah, I agree with you that Steve Young and Jim Kelly should definitely both be higher on that list.
And Dan Marino, if you want to bring up stats, how is he 8? I know he didn't win a Super Bowl, but he's the stat king in the old era before the rule changes.
How about since they have, guys from the now on this list, Drew Brees has had like 4,000 or 5,000 yard seasons in a row.
Yes.
That no one's ever done.
I put Drew, to be honest with you, I know everybody's in love with Aaron Rodgers right now. I put Drew Brees over Aaron Rodgers. We're going to go through this list later on our own, but right. I just don't like this list.
I mean, it's definitely. This is John Clayton's list. It's not like a,
Oh, no. It's John Clayton. I know. I get it. But he's already talking about, whether he wins or loses, he's the best. And I'm like, nah, dude, he lost twice.
I still disagree with that, but.
And he cheated. He's a cheater. He's the Barry. You roll your fucking eyes. He is the Barry Bonds of quarterbacks.
Okay. Barry Bonds is still the greatest baseball player ever as well.
He's also a cheater, and you got an asterisk next to his name. Everybody knows he cheated.
Okay.
Just like fucking Pete Rose, except he's not fucking banned from shit. But Pete Rose was the shit. You know what I mean? Like, on the field of play, like, there's nobody better than Pete Rose.
No, not a better hitter.
No. I give you, again, I don't know how you quantify best player, but like, he's one of the best players of all time. So, right. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I also say Roger Staubach shouldn't be on there only because he's a Cowboy.
I don't like any Cowboys. That's why I didn't bring up his name. I'm sad you brought up his name. That's not legit. Can't accept that. What's the next side? What are we talking about? Because Tom Brady is not the best quarterback.
Oh, you're a hater.
I'm a hater. He could be second. He could be third.
No, he's first.
I hope he loses. Because if he loses, then what are people going to say? He's
still the greatest quarterback ever?
No.
Yeah, he's 39 years old.
He's 39 years lost. When's the last time? I can't stand you. So
right, somebody told me he never beat an elite defense in the Super Bowl, like he beat the Seahawks, and then everyone said, "No, the Seahawks beat themselves."
The Seahawks beat themselves. The defense beat the Seahawks.
He took them down in the fourth quarter and took the lead. He drove against the Legion of Boom and took the lead in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl.
And what did the Legion of Boom do?
They couldn't stop him. What do you mean? What they do?
Okay, they let him down the field, right?
They lost the game.
They lost the game not because of defense. He didn't get to score.
So they scored points against the special teams?
No, they scored the points.
He drove down in the fourth quarter against that defense and took the lead over Seattle. Down 10 points going into the fourth quarter.
Yes. But why did Seattle lose that game?
Are you talking about the one play on the goal line?
Yes.
Okay, so all the points that Brady scored in that fourth quarter were nothing? They don't have nothing to do with it?
They weren't moot. But if they would have just ran the ball.
But they didn't.
I know.
So, but you can't just pick one play and say that. Well, then he would have beat the Giants if David Tyree doesn't catch the ball off his helmet.
Well, after that play, there was another play to be made after that.
I know. There were more. That was I'm just saying.
But see,
and that was against the defense, right?
But that's against the play of the game.
You just said that was Seattle's defense, but Brady gets charged for that loss.
But that was the last play of the game. That Harold Farrell.
It was not the last play of the game. There was another play on the goal line where they had to take a knee. But
see,
I'm just saying.
No. You know what I'm saying. I know what
you're saying. I'm just being annoying now.
Oh yeah, I know because I hate Tom Brady. Where's the picture? We don't even have the picture up. You're lucky. The Vinatieri, Tuck Rule, Spygate, all those things. Like, you roll your eyes. Is there not anything against cheating?
Yeah,
do you not have any problem with cheating?
Did they take his championships away?
No, they should.
They haven't.
They should have took the championship away against the Eagles.
Why?
Because they cheated.
Okay. The Tuck Rule one is so stupid too. Oakland had so much more time after that. They act like that was like the last play.
There we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There it is right there.
Hate hard. Hashtag hate hard.
Cheating. I just don't understand how you don't have any problem with them videotaping a team's practice.
So again, all right. So the Vinatieri one, we'll start there. So him driving down to get in the field goal position has nothing to do with it. Vinatieri hit a 90-yard field goal to win it. Okay. Yeah. Against the Rams. Like,
pretty much just how it happened.
Deflategate. Quarterbacks in the league do that all the time. They just decided that one this time it was an issue because it's New England.
About that, he lied about it. Like again, yeah, he did it. I just wish they manned up and said what they did. They cheat. It's just what they do. And yeah, other people do it too, but you got caught. So that's the problem.
Hey, deny. Yeah. That's that Michigan education.
Right? But they got caught, and that's just how it goes down. Like when you're cheating, everybody cheats, but when you get caught, like I just don't understand how you can even give credibility to them videotaping the Eagles and getting a Super Bowl. Like, isn't it cheating? Like you just know what the plays are gonna run. So yeah, it was a tight game.
But they watch film all the time. They know all the plays. How do you think they knew what play? How did Malcolm Butler jump that pass in the end zone against the Seahawks? Because he knew what play was coming. Because they scout. I understand what you're saying, but
I would totally agree with that if Andy Reid wasn't fucking the craziest trickster, calling trick plays and doing all kinds of goofy stuff, and he doesn't change. It's fine. We're not going to agree on this. They're cheaters. They cheated, and I don't like rewarding cheaters. Now, since it's been queued up forever.
Right.
The NBA asked the State Department to explain how immigration ban impacts players. Now, we're going to talk about sports. Not really going to talk about politics too much. Okay. But how insane is it to just ban people with working visas, green cards, people to live here, have jobs, and then not think of the consequences?
Yeah,
because I mean, there's nothing. We're on the same side of this. There's nothing to talk about.
This one specifically had to do with Thon Maker of the Milwaukee Bucks, who, along with Luol Deng, who they're both Sudanese. So they were worried when they go play in Canada, are they going to be able to come back into the country?
Yeah.
But luckily, Maker had an Australian passport also. That's how he was able to get back into the country, which makes total sense when you leave for work that you can't come back into the country. When you left for your job. and
that was my thing why I brought this up, because not that I want to be harping on the politics of the world.
We could do that, but we'll be another hour of just...
Yeah, but it's just crazy that like when you're a legitimate established person in this country, whether you're not American yet or whatever, but you have a job and you're doing your job and you've been here.
And you pay
just
taxes.
Blankly just cut these people off like, oh, You were feeding your family. You had a house. You had a mortgage. Sorry, you can't come back. Like,
there's kids that wanted to go to school over here that are coming to try and get an education. Like, no thanks.
The extended loss from this stupidity is just crazy, and it's sad that we have to worry about pro athletes even being affected by this, or government officials. A guy that was in the military that was a language translator for the military couldn't come back. Like, he's like, wait. I work for the government. Like
now, if Thon Maker couldn't have played in Toronto, you know how they put like DNP coach's decision or DNP injured, you know what I mean? Like did not play. Like what would he have got? Did not play, like government status, like you know what I mean? Like citizenship.
Got deported.
Like DNP citizenship. Like
right. Yeah. So that was a crazy story.
We could go deeper into that one, but nobody wants to hear that on a sports show.
No, but hopefully everything works out with that in general, so we don't have these kind of stupid issues to deal with.
Yeah.
There was a tennis match this weekend.
A major.
One
of the Grand Slam events.
Serena versus Venus. Now, before we talk about who do you want to win, did you care? Are you a tennis guy? Do you care a little bit?
Oh, I love watching Serena play. She's amazing to watch. And,
I love Serena too.
Yeah.
I was really hoping Venus won. I was thinking, let the old dog come out and just...
Well, I mean, that would be my prejudice, since I'm the older brother. I guess I should lean that way, right? And not want the younger one to win. Like, I would never want my brother to beat me in anything.
Just let the old dog... I was like, I had a debate with somebody on Facebook about that. I'm like, just let the old girl get one. They're like, no, but it's her 23rd. She's going to break... I was like, She's got all year to break the record. This is the first major of the year. It's January. Let the old girl get it. Now I know they're very competitive, both of them. So there was no way that either one was going to like let the other one win. But since these two haven't played in such a long time, they don't play that often. I was really hoping that it didn't go the way it did. But at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
You know, I don't think I could react graciously losing to my brother. Like, you know, I couldn't just like, oh, great match. Like, I'd be throwing stuff in the match. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Get it together. Like,
and the other part, too, is how long and how many times they played against each other throughout their lifetime.
Right. Like, there's no move you could do that they don't already know against each other.
Yep.
Every setup, they know what shot you want to hit next.
And when you're the older one, all you're thinking is, if I was just 4 years younger, I would whoop your butt right now. I hit that little cliff. You are so lucky. I would destroy you. But that's not the way that is going down. So,
Serena won. She tied Steffi Graf, 23 major titles now, one away from breaking the record.
And when she breaks that record, I don't even know what's going to happen because I feel like people don't appreciate women in tennis.
What? They don't appreciate tennis anymore.
True. I guess that's a better way to put it. But even when I was younger, they didn't care about the women. Like when I was growing up, I cared about tennis. I don't even know why, but like Pete Sampras was my dude. Like I love.
Yeah,
Pete
I liked
Sampras.
Agassi.
I liked Agassi too, but Pete Sampras was my dude. Like, what'd you like about Agassi?
I loved the way he played. Like Sampras was like a hard serve and then charge the net guy.
Yeah.
Where Agassi was more like a return guy where he'll just keep hitting it back and forth until you make that mistake to beat you.
Yeah.
You had to bring it against him.
Sampras was like the Terminator boy. He hit that.
Yeah, he was.
And there was nothing you could do about it. Like you'd hear the dude screaming, the kid screams sometimes because the ball would be coming at him like 125 miles an hour. I'm like, yo.
I couldn't imagine that. I want to like go against that just once, but I don't want it to hit me.
Right? Well, you probably wouldn't even see it. Like when you're watching. Like
that's what I mean.
Like it'd be, yeah. If you ever returned it, you'd be like, yeah, what?
I don't even care if I popped it like straight up in the air and it didn't go over the net, as long as I just got the racket on it.
So Roger Federer won again, and now people are trying to see if he's the greatest of all time in his chase for the GOAT, which that article says. You want to bring that up? Dude, hey, he ain't won since 2012.
2012. He's 35 years old now. He 17 championships, right? He's 23 and he's 12 and 23 against Nadal though in his career. Kind of hard to be the greatest of all time when you can't beat your biggest rival.
Yeah,
like
and that's the kind of thing that drives people crazy, right? Like in four years, imagine being in the Eastern Conference of NBA,
right?
Because for right now, in your whole era, if you've had to play with LeBron James, you either had to play against him no matter what you do. If you're in the Eastern, you got to go through him.
Right.
If you're in the finals, you're playing against him. And yeah, some people won and lost, you know, they you know what I mean? He lost a couple, but it's like you always got to see this dude no matter what you do. Like if you just didn't have to deal with LeBron.
Just the one guy, right?
If he didn't have to deal with Nadal, this guy would be the greatest of all time.
Right. Like, do you remember Andy Roddick, the American tennis player?
Yeah.
He used to make it to the finals all the time against Federer and lose, and they used to always ask him about the rivalry. And I remember him specifically quoting, he's like, I have to beat him once for it to be a rivalry. Like, it's not we have no rivalry.
No,
he's just better than me.
Yeah, he's like, I need him to not be here for me to win.
Right, so Andy Roddick was like, I'm just going to marry a supermodel and retire. Like,
pretty much. Because his whole game was, I can beat everyone else but him.
Right. He's got a ton of second place trophies.
It's like Barkley playing one-on-one with Jordan or something. He's like, you couldn't give me anybody else.
Right. Like every time he gets to the finals, like, oh, seriously? Nobody else can beat this guy?
You couldn't give me anybody else. So that article cracked me out as like greatest of all time. I'm like, bro, he's not even the greatest in his major rivalry.
Right.
So
that's why. And Nadal's 30. I mean, he's coming back from that knee injury. He has 14 titles. So he'll surpass Federer, you'd assume. I mean, he's going to win the French anyway. He wins the French every year.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, like I said, that was just a funny title to me. I'm like, that's not how it goes down. Speaking of basketball, since we talk about Jordan and Barkley, do you want to play for the Bulls? Because I think they might be hiring.
I mean, yeah, I'll go play for him. I can fill that Dellavedova role that he played for the Cavs, just agitating guys and getting lucky and making some shots.
So Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade were benched for discipline in their comments. Do you remember what the comments were that they were spitting out?
It's in the article. Wade was saying that they were saying that they're the only two that care when they lose and that the other guys don't bring it. And then the young guys on the team fired back that, maybe Wade should practice more, which to me is like egregious that they would even say something to Wade, who's a top 3-2 guard of all time at the end of his career. Like, you don't talk to a legend like that.
And you don't ask him to practice because he doesn't
need practice. He doesn't need to practice. He's trying not to practice so that he can play in games.
Yeah, and play harder in games for a longer period of time.
Also, he only signed in Chicago to cash that last check and play in his hometown. So They thought he was really going to care. They were mistaken.
And he does care about winning.
Yeah, he wasn't going to go there and, No.
But I'm saying he's old anyway.
Oh, yeah, I know.
When you have your vets, you don't run them hard in practice.
I'll tell you, the guy that looks the worst in this, to me, is Jimmy Butler, who looked to be like an upcoming star, but now he's feuded with Derrick Rose. They got rid of Derrick Rose. Like, now they've added these guys. He's feuding with Rondo and all these young guys now. Like, he seems to be kind of a selfish player and a guy that I kind of hope the Sixers could get. But now I'm not so sure he would fit in correctly with that group. He's good. Talent-wise, he fits.
I think that this all stems from them getting rid of his coach.
Well, yeah. Well, the coach they hired is terrible. Fred Hoiberg.
Yes.
So they hired him from Iowa State.
He had a problem when they replaced
Thibodeau. Right.
Because they're like, look, this new guy isn't practicing hard. I mean, we're not running hard. We're not doing the drills we're supposed to be doing.
I remember him saying that.
He had all those problems. So you got rid of your star's favorite coach, and he was being tutelaged and brought up in a certain way of hard-nosed, run hard, play hard basketball. Now you get a lax coach who's a novice in comparison.
Right.
Who doesn't have the team going the right direction. So I feel like Jimmy Butler's just a guy who wants to play hard and wants to do well. It's making him look bad right now, but he's like, look, we used to roll hard. Even when we lost, at least we play hard. Now these guys are chilling and hanging out, and I'm the superstar, so it all comes down on me to wait because I'm the major player here now. And Derrick Rose is always hurt. He was another one saying, I don't want to get more injured because I'm trying to get this $93 million payday. So it looks like Butler cares. I feel like he just is a guy who cares. If he was on another team, not even say a better team, if he was on a team with a better coaching staff, he would shut up and play the game.
I've heard like behind the scenes stories where they do like the team building things, where they do them little trips to like the bowling alley and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that doesn't go. And they said he's only ever talking about how he hangs out with celebrities now because he's a big timer and stuff. Like he's a guy that came from nowhere and then he got good and it kind of went to his head. They said like he's not, doing all that stuff behind the scenes. Obviously, I'm not there, but those are the rumors coming out of Chicago.
And again, when you got teammates around you that don't want to do nothing, why you want to hang with them?
Right. I mean, if you're the team leader, though, you're supposed to. If you want to be the team, I know, but I'm saying you're supposed to go to those events, though, if you're the team leader. If you want to be the guy, you got to make those guys do stuff. They're not going to trust you and want to follow you if you don't even bother to show up to these events. You're too good for it. You getting attacked again?
No. But what if they don't? See, I understand you're supposed to do that, but what if you don't care? Because they don't care.
The young kids?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
that's your job as the leader, isn't it? To make them care.
No, you can't make other grown men do stuff. You could try, but
but he's not even trying. That's my point.
Again, there's two sides to every story. How do we know he didn't try to go to a team thing, and now they're just saying that because now he doesn't want to go to any?
I said I don't know the whole story. I'm just telling you those are the stories I've heard out of Chicago and read.
I'm giving again. I don't believe nothing that comes out of Chicago. I'm going by what I see from him. Look at what Derrick Rose, all the stuff we had to hear going on with that for 2 or 3 years. The dissension, the entourage, the dad, the coach, the team, the ownership. It all
was kind of true, right? I mean, he decided not to show up for a game in New York.
That was New York, though. He didn't do that in Chicago.
It's still Derrick Rose. Once an issue, like the issues, they didn't just all of a sudden creep up.
If the team is always having issues, then it's got to be more than just these players.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Their upper management is terrible in Chicago.
So
they just point to the Jordan posters and relive some glory days every time.
And tell people you're not Jordan.
Right.
Basically. What's up with Rondo?
Rondo's crazy. He called out Wade and Jimmy Butler, the post, if we scroll down a little bit, there's a long post that he put up on Instagram, basically where he's talking about his vets in Boston were always the leaders, and they always showed up and always worked hard, and win or lose, they took it to heart, and they helped show the young guys how to do it, and basically saying he wishes he could go back in the day with his crew.
My big thing to that is how many championships did they win?
Right.
How many?
Yeah, one or two, right?
Just one.
I think one, yeah.
Anything is possible. So happy for Kevin Garnett, but they only won one, first of all. And second of all, Rondo was a problem when they were winning.
I know. Rondo pretends he's a good teammate because he gets assists, but that's the only thing he wants.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't look to run the offense. He just looks to get his stats up. You know what I mean? He's an assist hunter, which you would think would be a good thing. But if you don't play within the confines of the offense, it doesn't work as well as everyone thinks. He'll just hold the ball the whole time as long as he can until he can get that assist.
Yeah, and because people know you're not going to shoot, they just lay off you and then double team somebody else because you're not doing anything. And you're old now, too, so kudos to that.
He's going to be a Cavalier, though.
I believe it. He can pass it a wide open person.
The Cavs are desperate.
Are they desperate?
I mean, they tried to trade for T.J. McConnell. The Sixers said no thanks. Which is crazy. Insane. If you would have told me in the beginning of the season that a team wanted him, I would have.
Well, yeah, he has stepped up.
He's blossomed for sure.
And once we draft somebody, he's going to be like the sixth man of the year.
Yeah,
sixth man.
I'm just saying, in the beginning of the season, I would have traded him for a piece of paper. I didn't think he was an NBA player, and he's clearly an NBA player.
Yeah. Again, coaching. I believe a lot of that has to do with coaching. But
funny how Brett Brown went from a bad coach in my eyes, and I believe your eyes. I'm pretty sure you thought he wasn't that good either in the beginning. Even the beginning of the season.
I didn't like him because he was losing on purpose, and I understand. My question was, what kind of man could just accept that?
Right.
That was my issue. When you're blatantly last year not calling timeout, pulling this crap at the end of games just to lose. I understand the strategy, but I just don't understand as a man and for pride's sake and my job. I guess to keep your job, that's why I did.
Cash that check.
Yeah, just to say, oh, well, I'm going to be a loser. And this year, as they're winning a little bit more, they're playing the style of basketball that I believe is the good kind of basketball to play. I like why I always say we could be Atlanta Hawks, play team ball.
I love watching the Sixers play, man.
We could do that. So, but
they won 3 of their last 4 without Embiid.
Yeah, but imagine his record at the end of the day now because he just ate all those losses. Like,
I know
he's always going to be looked at as like trash. Like, to do that to yourself is incredible.
He'd have to win probably 4 championships to be considered like a Hall of Famer, just to erase that beginning part of his career.
That blemish. So yeah, I guess Rondo will be on the Cavs when they get bought out.
I think so.
Fun stuff that's absolutely no fun at all.
This story is insane.
Makes me angry.
I took one quote out of there that I'll read to you that's just insane from this Baylor story. You can read the headline.
Lawsuit. Baylor football players committed 52 rapes in 4 years under Art Briles.
Yeah, basically, Baylor sold their soul to be a good football team. They started recruiting guys that were good but were kind of known to be character issues, and then allowed that environment to continue on by basically covering up everything that went wrong there. The one quote I'll read you, Kendall Briles, which is Art Briles' son, was telling recruits, "Do you like white women? Because we have a lot at Baylor, and they love football players."
What?
Yeah. That's now. I mean, we can pretend a little bit. Like, we can pretend if we want that this doesn't happen all over.
Well, that's what I wanted to focus on before I said anything else. This is not just a Baylor issue. This is, again, one of those things where Baylor got caught.
Right. Here, you ready for this happened today, okay? Or maybe yesterday. I'm sorry. It was yesterday. There's a recruit visiting Ohio State. He tweeted out, Ohio State players do so much drugs. Then he got caught on campus with weed and got arrested. And then that tweet got deleted.
Of course.
Right. Yeah.
So it's rampant. It's everywhere.
Right. There was more going on in this Baylor story. There was a girl that got the main person, Jane Doe, that they're referencing in the story, she got, raped at a party that her boyfriend was at. They wouldn't let her boyfriend into the room. They were saying she was fine. So he called the cops. And before the cops got there, one of the coaches showed up. To cover it up before the cops even got there. And they got the girl to go there.
Again, this is something that happens all over the country, especially at major universities with the cover-up as far as that's concerned. And these women aren't afforded rape kits to be tested or anything. And it's just abysmal. So some of an article based upon investigation in the span of 4 years, the plaintiff was aware of at least 52 acts, including 5 gang rapes by not less than 31 different football players. 5 gang rapes. So not only are these guys just viciously raping, but they're getting together and, hey, the linebackers, let's just have a linebacker gangbang.
Right.
They should be in jail forever.
Because when you think like these guys are like the big man on campus, like that you wouldn't have to,
go
that route.
You would,
but I know that's not really what that's about. So
no, it's not. And sometimes, you say that, like, not you say that. It's said like, he's a famous blah, blah, blah. Why would he have Roethlisberger?
Right, because power. That's why.
Nobody would believe Roethlisberger or whatever. Why would Roethlisberger have to rape anybody? Girls were throwing at him all day. Well, maybe one girl wouldn't throw it at him that he wanted.
That's the one he wanted, right? Kobe, the same thing. I believe that's how the Kobe thing went. Like nobody says no.
The Kobe thing, he put the mamba in her butt. She wasn't having it.
Yeah,
because usually when you pay for hookers, they're cool. But she said no, and he said show.
Right.
And that's how that went down. Because
even
though she's a hooker, she's your girl. You pay for it.
No,
she still said no. Right? No means no. Even when you're paying for it, bro. No.
By the way, no. Matt Rule leaves Temple to go take that Baylor job. Like now they're talking about like they could be in major trouble. But
I would shut down the program. I wouldn't allow them to play football ever again.
Right. They're not going to.
And that sounds crazy, but you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound crazy to me. But really all Matt Rule has to do now there to continue is like just not have that stuff go on. Like doesn't matter if he wins or loses at this point. Just like, hey, we don't rape girls anymore. Come to Baylor.
Cool story. And nobody's going to want to go to Baylor just because of the stain of it. So just shut the program down. It's over.
But no, do you remember Baylor's basketball team had like a guy killed 2 of the players and they almost shut that. Like Baylor has just been a terrible sports program, university, whatever, for like the past decade. They've just allowed, like I said, they sold their soul to get good at sports by recruiting these guys that are kind of on the edge because they have talent and you overlook some of the things they did. And then if you let them, just, if nobody's watching, right?
Kill them. Kill it. No more. Hey, I know you didn't. Did you watch the Pro Bowl?
Absolutely not.
I didn't watch the Pro Bowl. I was doing a show.
The Pro Bowl is one of those things that no one watches, but it always has ratings.
So last year I watched the Pro Bowl, and it was like last year's Pro Bowl felt like an NBA
All-Star game,
where they were just freaking it, throwing rainbow passes, juking everybody. Nobody was tackling. This year they went back to the old NFC, AFC style.
Oh, that way they were doing it the past couple years where they drafted the players and whatever, so teammates can be against each other. That gimmick was just as dumb as I know you didn't watch the NHL All-Star game with their little stupid gimmick they have too.
No, I didn't. So right now we're watching. I think that was Travis Kelce's throwing the
Salt Day.
Salt. Yeah, keep letting that roll. What happened? They came with a commercial. That was only 30-second one. What happened to the full thing?
I mean, here's why I don't watch the Pro Bowl. The leading passers were Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins. Alex Smith was involved in the Pro Bowl.
What's wrong with that?
Jason Kelce made the Pro Bowl.
What's wrong with that?
They don't deserve it. The best players don't go. They don't even get the best players from the 2 best teams in the league don't go. They're like, basically, it's irrelevant. Just go. Like, nobody's going to go anyway.
Well, what do they get paid? Oh, so there we go. Everybody gets $200,000. And no, what is it?
It says if you want it to be a more competitive game.
Yes, that's what. Okay, because I was gonna say I didn't think they got $200,000. So $30,000 for the losing team, $6,000 for the winning team. Right. But yes, $200,000 per player, for that game. Now, here's the thing. You already feel like, oh, these players already get so much money. A lot of these players aren't like the top players in the league given year to year to get selected. Secondly, it would make it more that game was actually a good competitive game. We couldn't run a little bit more of the video because the commercial popped up. But just from the game itself, like Kirk Cousins, whatever, that's because the game was still tight within the fourth quarter when the irrelevant guys had to come in and actually make something happen. So it was like doofus against doofus later on in the game, but it was still like, it was a good game.
I've always thought, I mean, the Pro Bowl in itself is silly because, again, the NFL cares about player health. So they play an exhibition game that means absolutely nothing. And then they get mad when the guys don't go hard.
Yeah.
You know, like, you got to hit hard. I mean, there's that one highlight years ago where Sean Taylor ran that punter over on a fake punt. Like, he blew him up in the Pro Bowl, which, I mean, is ridiculous. If I was even if it's the punter, I don't want my punter getting hit like that in a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
See, yeah, Ezekiel Elliott tackle a fan yesterday that ran onto the field.
Like, why?
Why is he doing that? Like,
yeah, well, he's just young and he's a cowboy and he's stupid. But I mean, like, the game was competitive. Like, you know, like, it was a fun game to actually watch and see what was going down. I actually appreciate that.
The players look like they all had fun.
Yeah, like I said,
all the
Walker
interviews and everything,
Tennessee,
like they
we
were
just
having
saw
a great
catch
time.
a touchdown.
Did you watch any of the skills competition stuff?
I didn't this year. I usually do watch that. I was just busy all
They
weekend.
added stuff this year.
What did they add to it?
They had dodgeball.
What? I missed dodgeball?
There's a video of Alex Smith playing dodgeball. He threw the ball. It went under 5 yards.
You're joking.
No, I swear.
I gotta find that. I didn't. I usually watch that because that's one of the funner things. You know, throwing the ball in the bucket. They play in the sand on the beach or whatever.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
They don't have old vets playing flag football anymore.
Oh, maybe they do the old vets. They used to do the rookies play beach football.
Yeah, no, and they switched it to the old guys now, the retired guys.
Robert Edwards from the Patriots, he was like a Rookie of the Year candidate. He blew his knee out and like his career ended because of this beach flag football game that he played in.
Ugh.
Like he destroyed his knee, like one of those ones where everything goes.
Absolutely insane.
And then after that, they were like, "We don't do the beach flag football with the rookies anymore. That's not a good thing." Oh, here you go. Little volleyball or a little dodgeball action.
Yeah, see, I missed that.
Yeah, we got a little video clip of it for people that can't see.
Yeah, that's funny. Man, see, I guess they should have this on NFL Network, though. If you've got NFL Network, you probably can catch this. This is fun. This is fun.
Even this though, like, would you want, like, Odell Beckham's there? Would you want him like going somewhere and colliding?
Odell Beckham's dunking in the gym on his off time and stuff
by himself. Not you don't want no silly, stupid injury playing dodgeball.
He's not by you. Know, they show him dunking by himself, but he's out there playing one-on-one, pick up games with people. Like this is like the softest core porn you could do, NFL player. Like, I mean, for Pete's sake, if you're gonna take all the fun out of it and the danger.
There you go. There was the Alex Smith throw.
I saw it. That was pitiful. I saw it. That was pitiful.
One he threw it.
Whoopsie. But this is fun.
I'm not sure if that's a mistake or that's his max power throw.
Yeah. See, now this would be even better if like they let fans into play. Like, that'd be great. They just pick like 4 dudes off the street and just, you know what I mean? Like, put me on that side against fucking Ezekiel Elliott and give me a ball. Let me just wail at him.
Yeah, then I'd find out that Alex Smith, you know, everyone says he can't throw, and he'd hit me right in the face with a ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
just drop me.
Just for the heck of it, on that point, you would get lifted for funsies. So, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. How much time are we on, Amos? Unmute yourself. Tell me, how long we been here?
Hello?
We're sitting at about 37 minutes.
37 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's cue up the folder. We got time. Let's talk about some of these quotes. We're gonna officially make a good segment called "Don't Quote Me." But I want to pull up this folder where we were just pulling some. I pulled some Bleacher Report quotes because they make good images of the quotes. So instead of us just reading off the quotes, we get to look at a pretty image of the quote. Right. Hey, who's that guy, Jason?
That's D Fish.
Derek Fisher. Who is he coaching still?
No, he's on the run from Matt Barnes still, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. So his quote, where he got quoted, is, "Whatever I'm trying to do, even in the failures, numbers wise or statistic wise or whatever wise, I've succeeded in a major way. Really?
What? Yeah, what?
Really?
Right. So even when I fail,
I succeed. Like, unless you're talking about being on the Lakers, bro, and hitting a couple big shots, and
because you were the guy that they doubled off of every time, that's why you were the guy that hit the shot.
You were into the great wide open.
You hit that one versus the Spurs was insane.
Oh, yeah, I can't say that, but that was, again, that's like cheating. It was 0.4 seconds. I don't even believe.
I agree.
That was the first time when everybody started talking about after that shot, at the end of games, they say, well, if you got more than 0.4 seconds, you can still get a shot up. Like, that was like the law.
They made up that rule.
Yeah, if it was 0.5, 0.6, you can still get a shot of 0.6. No, you can't. Apparently, now we can, and that's just the way it is. If you touch it and drop it, you're good. But it's humanly impossible. But D-Fish did it. Other than that, he's not successful. He's out here stealing wives and trying to be other kids' fathers and running for his life, lost his job, lost his livelihood. So,
Matt Barnes is insane with that. That whole story every time is hilarious, man. It was his ex.
Yo. That's some real stuff, though. The problem, okay. So again, I've said this on other shows that I do that aren't sports related. My thing is so you got a girl, we're friends. I've known you since high school. You break up with her, I'm not touching her. You know what I mean?
That's a rule.
Like, it's a rule. Like, if you've been a coworker, somebody, you're in the same league, you're in the same industry. All these groupie O's out here in the world.
These guys all go after the same ones every time, man.
Yeah, and then you go after my wife when I got kids with her. Right, really, bro? Let her go deal with a stock guy or a car wash dude or a guy at McDonald's, but not a championship dude with rings, and I ain't got no rings, and I gotta look at this dude taking my kid to school trying to put a D-Fisher jersey on. No.
D-Fish was like, cash me outside, homie.
Yeah, cash me outside. How about that? And Barnes did cash him outside.
Yeah, I know. He realized he was for real. He showed up like, he's here.
He whooped his ass. He had him running.
You know how you get tough on the phone when you think nobody's going to show up. You got a lot to say. Like, man, you come here. We can, it's whatever you want to do.
And they already at car door like,
whoa.
Doorbell.
This guy's here.
Yeah, we got issues. Throw that next one.
We got Tristan Thompson.
LeBron's not my agent. I earn my money doing what I do.
Right.
Tristan Thompson on claims that LeBron James influenced the Cavs to overpay him. Could you explain this, please?
Well, one, Tristan Thompson's real agent is LeBron's agent. So,
James' agent.
And if we're not going to say LeBron had nothing to do with it, LeBron magically waited to sign his contract for Tristan Thompson to sign. That way, because with LeBron's contract status, they can go over the salary cap with it. But they couldn't. If LeBron signed first, they wouldn't be able to sign Tristan Thompson. So they had to wait for it. So.
And didn't LeBron wait even longer to make sure that the pressure was put on them to sign Tristan Thompson at that higher dollar amount? Because
LeBron wanted, and he even said something about it in the media about how they needed him and J.R. Smith.
After the first offering they gave him was a low ball offer.
Yeah, LeBron commented on it.
And then waited. So technically, you have the same agent. He's your real agent.
Right.
He moved mountains and manipulated his boss to get you a bigger check.
Because of who he is, right?
Mouth. Who? Are you insane? What are you
talking about? LeBron.
Yo, LeBron,
that's my boy.
If LeBron tell me to shoot somebody, I got to do it.
Yeah,
he got me $80 million. LeBron got me $80 million. I think because they offered him like something like $40 million or $37 million or something.
Yeah, they.
So he ended up doubling his money.
NBA wise.
Don't quote me on that. There's no way he should have said what he just said.
Yeah.
So your boy's up next. Go ahead, read this one.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
He's been asked a bunch of times about being in the dunk contest because he's always catching all them oops from Chris Paul, and he always turned it down, saying he would never do it unless he was an all-star. Now he's finally an all-star, so now he's saying if I do the dunk contest, then they got to let me do the three-point competition. He also said the skills competition. That's the rest of the quote. He wants to be involved in either of those. But nobody's sure if he's for real or not.
So basically he doesn't want to do a dunk competition because he can't dunk.
I think he can dunk. I think I think it'd be hilarious. You can't even shoot a foul. I'm like, yo, we'll put you in the foul shot competition.
So again, that's why I don't think
he might be trying to duck it if he's serious.
Semantics is, yes, he can dunk the ball, but he can't dunk like how they be dunking. He can't fly high, oop alley. He needs somebody to throw the ball up in the air so he can go catches. I don't believe he can dunk.
He might not be creative enough to do it.
No, I don't think he's creative enough to do it. I don't think he has a skill set to do it.
I like to see Embiid in all three of those competitions.
Embiid with
the 3-point, the skills, and the dunk contest.
If he next year, if he's off minute restrictions, he has to be and healthy. He has to be in the All-Star game. And if he is in the All-Star game, that would be my request. I want to be in the 3-point shootout, right, and the skills thing.
Could you imagine? The only problem be, imagine if he won and then turned into one of those and like, yeah, that's my shot now. Like, and just started, you know what I mean?
I mean, if he won,
it doesn't mean anything if you win.
No, it's funsies. If he won, it's funsies. But I would love to see him in all three. Again, he's a big man. It'd be like Shaq doing. And Mick Riddick, Mr. Riddick. I can't read because it's small in my window. We do the show every Monday. That's what we do the show on Mondays, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whenever we get started. But Monday night, usually like 9:30-ish, you could catch us outside. Catch us up. Next, I can't stop. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What's next?
Not again with the McVick 2.
Can I get a quick Mick 2? Yo, did you see they got new Big Macs?
Yeah, they got a
junior.
I mean, we can pretend we want to talk about the little single burger one, but I know that's not what we're here to talk about.
They got the Big Mac Junior. Go ahead, throw another one up there. Looking back on it, it definitely wasn't worth it. Victor Cruz on the Miami boat trip with the Giants wide receivers. Do you think it was a bad idea?
No, it had nothing to do with the outcome of that game.
I think it's a bad idea for one reason.
It's a bad look.
It's a bad idea because why do you have to tell everybody what you're doing?
Well, that's the problem,
especially during the work week. If you went to, I don't know if you went and rode dolphins. I don't know if you club baby seals. I don't know if y'all had a party with hookers at the club. All I know is what you tell me. So you told me you was on a boat. Somebody on the boat was smoking a blunt. He wasn't a player, but he was still hanging with y'all smoking.
Right.
All of those things go against you in the game, in the league, what you're supposed to be doing, focusing and not focusing. And then y'all had the audacity to get your butts whooped the way you did. And the wide receivers, none of them showed up except for the one dude.
The guy that didn't go.
the guy that didn't go.
Right.
So, I mean, it didn't have nothing to do with it, but it had everything to do with it.
Oh, it's definitely a bad look when stuff like that happens if you lose.
Yeah. And
they lost
just
big
your
time.
Mental psyche. Like they came out in pregame in 20-degree weather with no shirts on.
I think that was the dumbest thing they did in my eyes.
Yeah, because it was already in their mind. They wanted to show people, oh, look. Being in warm weather doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it matters.
By the way, what are the chances that they tried to, call up some girls and Odell said no thanks?
You watch show Ballers?
I don't. I wish I did. I've heard all about it. I'm never home.
I got to set you up with it. Put it on your phone or something so you can watch it. Then we can talk about it another time. This is not a quote.
Right, we can skip that one.
That was just for us to make fun of what's his face for his Grand Slam. Oh, yeah, put this back up real quick.
But that's Brady versus Montana. They're all in greens in Brady's favor.
Look. That's all good. But
simply the best.
Where's the 4 for 4?
They have to say Super Bowl wins 4 and 4. See, same.
Yeah.
Conference titles 6 for Brady, 4 for Montana. That favors Brady.
Where the losses at?
Right there, 6 and 4. That's how you see it. That's
no. I'm not talking about conference titles. I'm talking about Super Bowls. Wins and losses.
So 6 conference titles is better than 4.
How many Montana suffer?
In
How
the
many
Super Bowl?
Montana lose?
None. How many do you suffer in conference title games?
82. I don't care.
There you go. Right.
Super Bowl wins.
All right, so it's better to lose before the Super Bowl. It's better for your legacy.
Ask Jim Kelly.
He'd be a nobody if he never made the 4 Super Bowls.
He's still a nobody.
He's not a nobody.
The way
he's not an all-timer. He's not a nobody. Everybody knows Jim Kelly 4 losses in the Super Bowl.
The way nobody talks about Jim Kelly, way he can't get in the top 10. Like, imagine that. You're one of the 5-6 guys that have been to more than 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
And you're like out of the top 12 every list. Like, in some people's eyes, like, he's like, Jim Kelly gets a raw deal. If he would have won 1 Super Bowl, all we be talking about, hey, we talk about like Brady. Well, he went so many years, you can't win them all, right? You know, just win so many years. Horrible. All right, let's talk about Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Your favorite one.
Yeah, my favorite pitcher. He just did a
look at them rings.
Deflate Sparky.
Going for one for the thumb.
Yeah, they put 2 giant L's in his face from the Giants. I hate that guy to be happy that the Giants did something too. That makes me sick.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl is coming up next week. We will do a very intense wrap up of that per se. But it is, in case you're a non-sports person, why would you be here? I have no idea. The game comes on at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time next week. Super Bowl party's about. I bet you're working next Sunday.
Of course I am.
Making that go whoppily.
Hopefully it doesn't get as chaotic as last year.
I'm pretty sure it probably does because everybody gets crazy.
Sometimes.
I usually go and Stacy, I love you too, Stacy, because she doesn't like sports, but she's here. Thank you, Stacy. So games at 6:30 in Houston, Texas. They have a dome, right?
Yes.
Does their dome open?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they have like a legit dome. I don't like domes in warm places that don't open. If the weather's not, Africa hot, like it'd be nice to just see the sun come in. I like watching the time shift change and how the light changes and get a little bit of wind and atmosphere in it. Because kickers, like, that's a big deal. That's the one thing I don't like. Now it seems like all these Super Bowls are going to domes. But wind is a big thing. I know nobody wants to be in the winter, but I'd love to see an Ice Bowl Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Yeah, advertisers wouldn't.
It's on Fox. The spread is -3, New England. You think New England's going to win this game?
I don't know. I keep going back and forth every day. Because, New England's got the best defense in the league, but we've all seen that graphic where they haven't played that many great quarterbacks, which does factor into that. Atlanta, I think Kyle Shanahan, with all this 49ers talk, that's a distraction for him. I don't care what anybody says. That's got to be a little bit of a distraction for his game planning. But Atlanta can use them running backs to exploit the 49ers defense, man. I mean, the 49ers. See, look at that, I'm mixing it up. To exploit the Patriots defense big time.
I think you can't focus, but I think Shanahan is locked in because after all the turmoil and issues he's had to deal with, this is the closest he's come to some kind of redemption directly for himself and his namesake. So even though he's going to be moving on, I know in his heart he wants to get this ring. He wants to solidify himself and do this. So with the talent he has, I guarantee you he's more focused than you would ever think he would be because he's about to go somewhere with no talent. So he's sitting there looking at this team like, look, if I want to prove to somebody in my own cachet and say, hey, look, my system works, he has to win this game. If he wins this game, he goes there and everybody has to listen because he's like, look, my offense beat Tom Brady. My offense beat Bill Belichick. You need to fall in line. So he wants this. I believe he's more focused than ever with this opportunity to get this George W. I hope he gets this George W. I want them to win.
In NRG Stadium.
Oh, it does.
It is a roof that opens up, yeah.
Hopefully they open it up then. Great. That makes me a little bit happier. Also, the weapons that they have, they have Julio Jones. So you have the best wide receiver in the league. I'm going to give him that this year.
More. And wait, there's more.
And not only more, there's 4 more. Like, they line up 5 wide and still could throw to the running back.
Not if they're 5 wide, but...
You know what I'm saying.
There wouldn't be a running back.
You know what I'm saying. They have 5. I'm saying they can line up 5 wide. They still have the
running backs out there.
Not at the same time.
So what the Patriots are going to do then, right, to try and combat that? They're going to run LeGarrette Blount against that small Falcons defense all day and try and slow the game down and keep that offense off the field. That's the game plan to beat Atlanta. You can't let them get ahead of you because once they start scoring, they're unstoppable.
Again, I feel like the offense is going to be, your premise is right, and that should be the game plan, which is going to make for a boring and awful Super Bowl.
I know, but that's really how you beat them. Like, let that play clock run down to 1 every time. Just hold that ball. Get them, 11-minute drives where you kick a field goal.
We're going to see how Atlanta's defense holds up.
They've been playing really good in the playoffs.
And I feel better about them playing against Belichick because they go against a 4-wide, a 5-wide set in practice with really good players, with a quarterback who's getting the ball out fast. Nobody gets the ball as fast as Brady, but the stat on that is he's 2 milliseconds behind Brady as far as his release. So in practice alone, they at least get to see someone of Brady's caliber. You've got to get there. You've got to get there. Nobody's going to get there like how Houston was getting there. My goodness. Davion Clowney has finally showed up, and he has finally showed up, and he's like the Embiid of NFL, right? Except for he was crying about it, but he was hurt, and people didn't want to let him get healed up and didn't want to wait. Well, guess what? Now he is a beast, and hopefully they can get to Tom Brady like he did, because even when they weren't getting close, he was just pushing that pocket, and that's how you beat Tom Brady.
Yeah, Atlanta's got to play man-to-man against New England too, because those Julian Edelman will kill them in zone.
Yeah.
So Atlanta's got to try and stay with that. But then you got to remember them rub routes that Peyton Manning used to run in Denver. New England's good at those too. They love running those. So if they start getting stuck in man like that, they'll hit them over the top with one of those long ones.
I just want them to lose.
I know you do.
With all my heart. I just don't want to hear it. I'll be so happy. And honestly, just in competition, I just like seeing other people win.
Always. Yep. I agree.
When Golden State beat the Cavs, I was only mad because the Cavs were injured and LeBron still took them to 6 games. At that point, I'm like, give LeBron the win. He's out here killing y'all. He all by himself.
Right.
But then when they won, I'm like, oh, at least somebody different won. But then when they come back and they're just winning all them games, and I've got to hear about Golden State this and Golden State that, and they're better than their beat them. They need to get beat. And that's how
what's funny? You know who they said gave the blueprint to beat the Falcons?
Who?
The Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
They ran for 208 yards against the Falcons.
But that was early in the season.
They still exploited that defense. They're not a big defense. They're more speed pass rushers because they want to get after the quarterback after Atlanta's offense takes the lead. They want to.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't want to see that Super Bowl. That's going to be a terrible Super Bowl.
That's the game plan to beat them, though.
It is. Is that it? We did the whole rundown, right? We got the whole list done. We're good.
Yeah.
Tell people where they can find you at, even though it's on the screen, just so they can hear you in the audio.
Yeah, on Twitter, you can always check me out. I run the Study Hall account. That's another show that I'm on Thursdays at 9 p.m. So follow me at the Study Hall, THASTUDYHALL.
Like OhDoctah, we spell that gangster, THA.
That's right. Yeah, we don't use normal spellings here. We're so hip. I'm hip. I'm cool.
That's how we do's it. I'm your boy JJ Stone, aka OhDoctah. If you don't know, the show is being produced by a robot and a man in half of another country. Technically, it's not another country. It's still America, but I don't know if I could trust him because his Twitter handle is a spy handle, and I don't know why he doesn't have his name up on the screen. But
he's not going to be able to come back and produce the show.
True. Wow.
Easy.
I retract all that. I don't even know his name. Don't
edit all that out. Yeah.
Find it. We gotta get out of here. I'm your boy JJ Stone, OhDoctah. Thanks for watching IQMZ Sports. Next week's the Super Bowl.
And we'll be back talking about how the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
And you know what? I might come over there and sit right there next to you. So I can just smack you in the back of the head repeatedly while I'm upset about this.
Genie Bus.
Oh, he just threw up Genie Bus. Throw it back on the screen. What'd you do that for, Genie? Oh, we're about to end every episode.
I'm going to get that tattoo.
We're going to end every episode with a shot of Jeannie up on the screen till we get her on the show. So hopefully she'll come on and know that we're stalkers, but it's Skype, so she won't be that afraid. Yeah. Again, I'm your boy Jason, OhDoctah. Thanks for watching. The show's going to be up on iTunes and Google this week, and we're also on YouTube, so subscribe and get us in your life and save us for later. We're out.
Check us out next week.